click the links to join the channel or join the subscribe star where there's exclusive content over there. So Hollywood is the unpolitically correct stuff is known as this meat grinder, but you ever wonder why? It's like it used to be an open secret, now it's just kind of out in the open, but doesn't it seem weird that nobody actually does anything about it? You know, you got all these celebrities on Twitter who are so concerned about so many other things. It's like, oh, maybe you should look inwards a little bit and you know, focus on Hollywood, the abuses that are going on there. It's like one would assume the left wing would be the first to want to protect. I said women at first, but it's like men also get abused. But you know, you'd think that they would address that, right? They'd have some. Oh, we're going to set up an oversight committee to protect people where you can register complaints and issues and have ombudsman, arbitration mediation, something like a intermediary step to do something, to start listing complaints and try to collect information. It's like you would think somebody would get something to protect people from these kind of Weinstein type of abuses. Yeah, he got arrested, but you know, it's okay, that's one guy. What has the Film Actors Guild done to protect their backholes from you know, future sodomy from these type of people? What changed since Weinstein got arrested? Well, that's a good question. The thing is, yeah, Hollywood is obviously a propaganda machine, but it also makes a lot of money. Or, I mean, it still makes a lot of money, but it used to make a lot more, even just like a decade ago. It was in a different position. I mean, it's still going to make a lot of money for a long time. It's just not the same as it used to be. As social media, things kind of spread out, and as it spreads out, like each individual actor gets paid a little bit less, so there's going to be fewer Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston actors of the 90s who were just huge actors. Like there still will be actors now who are doing like the Robert Downey Jr. getting $65 million. And even that, you go like, oh, you guys are so far hardcore socialists. So why don't you take everyone who works on a film, divide it by how many hours they put into a film, take all the net profit from a film, and just divide it equally between everyone who works on the film, from the caterer to the janitors to the actors getting paid $65 million. So it's like, the thing is, there's a lot of money in Hollywood. I mean, everyone would get in the six figures, but you wouldn't get $20 million anymore. You might get 400,000. It's like, oh yeah, why don't you put some of your policies to good work, to use? It's like nobody ever asks those questions because you know what the answer would be. It's like, oh no, we're not talking about my money. We're talking about OPM, other people's money. Oh, okay. So you guys are like just kind of hypocrites the whole time. It's like, yeah, obviously. So yeah, there's still a lot of money in Hollywood. So yeah, and you know, a lot of very powerful people are involved. So it's pretty rare that a Weinstein actually gets arrested. The actors themselves could clean up Hollywood almost overnight simply by just being honest and talking about all the abuse that goes on. Not a whole lot of them do. So anyway, this Marilyn Monroe thing, I'm sure it's going to be just the stupidest, cringiest. I'm sure the bad guy is going to be blonde hair and blue eyes. Call me crazy, just a guess. The Weinstein character will be played by somebody out of like Aryan Central Casting or something. It hasn't come out yet. I'm just guessing. It's like, how can you possibly make such a guess? Because I've seen 100 of these things. It's just this most, like, once you put on the They Live glasses, you see, oh yeah, this stuff is everywhere. Well, yeah, plot twist, it's been everywhere. It's been everywhere for a long time. Anyway, so this, Netflix gave it an NC-17 rating, and partially they think it's just to bring attention to the show because people think it's going to be better. And one of the theories was because there was a Weinstein snuggle scene in the show, which made me kind of think about all this kind of like the Hollywood machine. Like I usually cover the propaganda aspect of it for the culture war, but like there's an aspect of it for the actors themselves who, you know, a lot of people hate the actors, but it's, you know, it's like possible for them to be victims also. So Marilyn Monroe versus the Weinsteins of her time, at least. And you ever wonder about the history of #MeToo? I think that was started by Melissa Milano, I don't know, 5 years ago. It came and went because everything was a self goal. It was a Weinstein or Roman Polanski or Woody Allen in Hollywood. for every Weinstein that gets popped, or all these other guys that get popped, it's like, oh, these are all left-wing guys, like very openly left-wing people. So Alyssa Milano starts to call out these people in Hollywood, but then everyone quit. And the thing is, I think soon as that thing came out, she seems like a well-intentioned, useful idiot, where she had a good idea, and then, like, as soon as it came out, the people who are not idiots and are also the sharks swimming in these circles amongst the whales and the guppies of Alyssa Milano, they knew immediately what was going to happen with Me Too, and they also knew that they had to get rid of it, because you're not going to be busting a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed Republicans in Hollywood for Weinsteining women. It's like that's just not the creative field. They just don't go into those kind of Hollywood creative fields. You're going to be busting a lot of people who are heavy DNC donors, who've got pictures with Hillary Clinton and Obama, and like all of them are going to be those types of guys. And so as soon as Alyssa Milano came out with that, I guarantee you the people who were way above her were thinking, oh, we're gonna have to put the kibosh on this thing, toot sweet. And you can use the media to just delist it, to just and the thing is, the people in the media themselves, the reporters, they know which way the wind is blowing. Even if the people the people in the media know which way the wind is blowing, and the people in social media also know which way the wind is blowing. So as soon as they see this, it's like it catches them unaware. It blows up for like 6 months, a year, and then they start realizing, yeah, we're going to have to just kind of take the oxygen slowly out of this. Slowly out of it. You got Weinstein, you got one guy. But like really, like how many other Weinsteins are there in Hollywood who are abusing actors? I'm sure there's more than one. I'm sure there's a ton of them. The who's the Kevin Spacey type of guy? Who, like, yeah, everyone who testified against him or who said something against him, they all just they had ODs, or they self-deleted, or they were tragically deleted in an accident. They were, what is it, Seth Rish type of thing. They were Epstein's in prison. It's like, oh, that's weird. It's like, oh no, it's kind of scary actually. It's weird. It's funny, you look at big channels on social media and the things they don't talk about. It's like, oh, it's kind of, what is it, the Spanish for silver or lead? Or it's the golden cage or the lead bullet, really. It's like, what would happen one day if Salty over on an Odyssey live stream suddenly got like based, like really based? I think he'd probably meet with a tragic accident, which is weird to say, but you hear it now in 2022, and especially after Biden's speech last night. It's not tinfoil hat. It's not outside the realm of possibility to have like some if Mark Dice is doing an Odyssey live stream and he suddenly got real for a second. It's like, oh, he was swatted and deleted. Oh, okay, yeah. And then Paul Joseph Watson did something like something similar. Got real. Yeah, he was home invasion. Got yeeted. Was blasted like 50 times or something. It's like, oh, so like we're just living in Russia where the puppet masters will put a little poison, a little tetrodotoxin on the tip of a sharpened umbrella hypodermic, find you in a crowd and hit you with that poison. It's like, oh, that's how you get rid of political. That's how you Hillary Clinton, one of the political enemies. I can say this kind of stuff because it's like, oh, hey, video got 100 views. I don't think it's a threat just yet. I actually had a lot more on this topic, but it's really, and the more I think about it, I think, oh, it's probably not something to put on YouTube. I'm going to put it on Subscribestar, which seems like a safe platform for now, because you can't really complain if you pay $2 a month. It's like, oh, I was really offended, but you subscribe to the service to watch videos and you were offended. You bet your ass I was. Like, you people will just go to no ends, SJWs. The thing is, with avoiding SJW attacks, if you're not on Twitter, you just don't get that kind of energy. Being on Twitter is a really weird and dangerous place, where being on Gab is like you're swimming among your fellow fish. Anyway, no, you're not going to have Hollywood call out the degenerates in Hollywood to fix Hollywood. It was like it would be remarkably easy. So this Me Too thing, it started, and then it quickly abandoned because somebody started accusing, like, Hollywood actors is one thing, or producers is one thing, but then they went after Al Franken, I think, and then somebody accused Biden, and all of a sudden CNN's bending over backwards. They introduced the phrase credibly accused, because when these people accused Trump, Vanderbilt guy. I forget the guy's name. He's descended from the Vanderbilts on CNN. He said, "Oh, the Trump accusers were credibly accusing Trump, and then when the Biden accusers and other DNC politicians were getting accused, that I can't remember the guy's name. I just know he's at Vanderbilt. He's a gray-haired guy, and he would go, oh, but they're not credibly accused. And you think to yourself, holy shit." CNN is running cover for the DNC. It's like, yeah, obviously. I mean, I don't mean that any surprise, but like at one time, this was different. The media was different, even like 20 years ago. It's like, yeah, they're always left-wing biased, but even 20 years ago, it was an entirely, like the mainstream media now is nothing but a propaganda arm of the DNC, of the left-wing Hollywood media machine. It's all one thing. And like the more you say that, you know the people who are saying this are not tinfoil hat, because you can turn on MSNBC and you go, oh, this is insane. This isn't, if you're over 40 or 50, you watch this stuff now and you go, this is not the media. This is not the America I remember. This is something like you're living in some kind of weird dystopian future. And, you know, if you saw Biden's speech last night, you know what's on the horizon. I'm going to do that next video for Odyssey and Bit Chute and Subscribe Star. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next episode.